What is up? Hello. As you can tell, we're not in my home. This is not my space. We are actually in the office, and I've talked about the office a couple of times throughout various videos, but it's been about a year now, but I've been taking care of this specific space in regards of the plants, and I also just maintain it and kind of keep it clean at the same time as well. I'll get more into like the lore of why I take care of this office and like what the whole, like how did this become a thing? I don't do this for anything else. I don't like taking care of people's stuff. It freaks me out. It makes me way too nervous. I'm okay with my stuff because if I do something stupid, it's fine. I just usually stay away from it. Like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I thought it'd be fun to show it. I thought it'd be fun to show kind of what kind of plants are in here. I don't know if I'm gonna do like a tour today per se. Maybe I'll show a handful of them. And I am gonna be doing some repotting and stuff here and kind of doing some maintenance. And I think I'm gonna also talk and maybe get some ideas from y'all in theory of like what I should do with some of the plants in this space. There's this beautiful pothos that one of the lawyers brought in, a couple other plants that people that work here have just brought in general, and I have ideas, but it'd be fun to see what y'all think of those ideas, and also if you have any other ideas that you can think of. This is the office. I think what I'll do is I'll kind of show some of the rooms. I'm not gonna go into the actual like offices. There's a lot of information in there. There's a lot of information that I don't know if I should be even like messing around with. That's why I'm trying to stay in the main lobby and maybe the little conference room, because I went in there, I looked, there's not anything that I see that it's like, you know, so that's why I'm trying to be very cautious, but I do want to show the plants. Worst case scenario, if I'm not feeling it, I might just come and bring some of them out that way, but we'll fill out the vibe. Starting first and foremost, we have a couple of plants over here. Not all of them really have a home per se. Well, a couple of them do, but not fully. So we have two of the same exact plant here. These are both poinsettias. They ended up bringing them in for the holidays, and they were originally gonna throw them away just because that is something that's very normal for poinsettias, but I told them to not do it and that I'd do more research and I'd see about trying to get them to grow and stay alive in the space. I still don't know a lot about them. There's still more to learn, but I do know that they can turn into these like cool funky trees, and like who wouldn't want like a cool little red leaf tree? That's what I was thinking through my head. I'm still working on these. I've been able to maintain them though. They've been doing good in the space. From what I understand, they like to stay moist. So every time I come in, I give them water, even if they don't look fully dry, but they're usually to that point where I feel like we're at a good point. I think they're getting water at the right time. They seem to be happy. They drop leaves here and there, but it is what it is. I'm not too frustrated or worried about that there. On the table, if we can see, we have a Philodendron Moonlight. I have one at home. This is just one of my favorite philodendrons. They're just so pretty. They're classic to me. I just love the solid green. They grow so beautifully without you having to do a lot. And that's something that I'm a personal big fan of. So we have that there. And then we have this. This is why I am here today. I usually don't come in here on Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday today. I usually come here on Sundays after my shift, because it just makes sense. It's close to my work. I've been meaning to come in here and just do a really good thorough clean, and also do a really good thorough check on the plants, trim them, fertilize them, spend some time, which I normally don't have. When I'm here, I spend no more than about an hour. I'm expecting to be here for like maybe 3 hours or so. Kind of see how that goes, but this fella here has been in this 10-inch pot forever. We bought it in this 10-inch pot. It's dropping leaves like wildfire right now. So I need to figure out what's going on. It's not drying out as much as I was expecting it to, but the other thing is it is just so dense and packed in there, and I honestly think it might be root bound, and I think they might be fighting one another. I'm not too sure, but there's approximately 4 different plants in here. So I'm gonna see about repotting this and actually breaking them up and putting them all in individual pots. I'm very scared about that. Once again, it's one of those things where you just don't know. So that's gonna be one of the big projects that we do today in here. And then this is kind of the main, like, one side of the lobby area. They have this little bar. They don't really do anything with it, but it's fair. This place has been slowly getting built piece by piece. They bring in a lot of their own stuff. They bring in a lot of their own artwork, a lot of their own furniture, and I kind of like it just because you get a little bit of everyone in this space. And I know all of them, not super thoroughly, but I know them as individuals and like what they like and stuff. So it's kind of cool to see it all mishmashed together. It's kind of fun. It's like a very community-driven space in those regards. So lots of interesting artwork. I definitely will showcase some of that too. You kind of saw the other side here. Let me turn the camera just so I can kind of talk about it. So here's the other side of the space. I love this little area that they have set up. And this is one of my like favorite like prints I've ever seen. Like if they ever get rid of this, I am taking this home. Love the vibe, love the color. It's just so fun. I love it. This is more of the like general lobby area like I mentioned. Plant-wise, someone brought in this little, it was very small when it came in and it's growing very wonky, so I'm gonna see about fixing it. But someone brought in this cute little Monstera and it's starting to do pretty good. It's giving me some decent sized leaves. It's upping on the size, so hopefully we'll get some fenestration going on soon. And then we also have Hoya australis. I always butcher it. So I'm gonna be real, it's doing really good. I was very scared about this plant only because where it's at, there's no direct light between all these windows. It's very bright because there's this big white staircase and it reflects a lot of light in general, but even then I just wasn't sure if it was gonna be enough light. It's been doing good. It's been giving new growth constantly. It seems really happy. I think the terracotta definitely helps in this situation as well too, absorbing any extra moisture that just wouldn't naturally get through because of it not being as bright. One of my favorite Hoyas. If you ever want a plant that you can just leave alone, it's not too high maintenance, and if you want that like jungle vibe in the sense that it kind of feels like it's grown in and lived in its space, this is the Hoya. They'll grab onto anything. They'll grab onto all kinds of stuff. They'll just take over the space. I have one at home and I put it in one of my videos when I redid the bookshelf area. I had to literally untangle mine because it took over my whole like window sill. It wrapped itself around on the cords. It did a lot, but it's one of my favorite ones. And we have this huge, super long, but also very leggy pothos. It is all over the place. It's technically an Epipremnum, but y'all get it. Very, very leggy. So I'm going to be figuring out what I want to do with this. It does have I feel like a decent amount of vines that do have good leaves on them that aren't too leggy. So I'm very tempted to chop off a lot of them and do something there. But at the same time, I definitely want to repot. So I don't know. I need to check the root system and see what's going on. And if it isn't too dramatic, I might repot it in the same pot and just refresh the soil. Because I don't know what this is in. And it might just need a little bit of a little ridge, you know what I mean? This is the last little plant that's in this main lobby space. I'm gonna show you the one that's in the conference room, and then I don't know how I feel about the other ones. I don't think I'm gonna go down that hallway. Like I said, that's where a lot of personal information is. There's photos of people. I'm not trying to play games. I wanna respect people's privacies and also just in regards of their work, because like I said, that's some intense stuff. So I might either just grab some of the plants and kind of show you what we have over there and kind of talk about some of the other ones. There really isn't that much. There's maybe another like 6 or 7 plants throughout the entire space, but I'll grab a couple of them. We'll kind of talk about it that way. But let me show you the little conference room real quick. This is the only plant that I have in this space. She's giant. She is the one. I love this plant. When I tell you, I do nothing for this plant, and it does so good. This is why I love philodendrons. Not all of them are easy, obviously, but most philodendrons are so laid back. Give them some good light and let them dry out. They won't give you any fuss. I rotate this thing once every time I come in. I just do a 180, just so the leaves will start to kind of move, but you can see, like, this is a big old plant. So it gets a lot of south-facing light from this little window here that is kind of shut. I'm gonna open a little bit. They do have an outdoor patio. It gets full sun. So I don't know what to put out there that's like fun. There's not a lot of things I can think of that will do really good out there in full sun. That's reasonable to have in like a little office patio area. They used to have it decorated, but someone stole a lot of the furniture, so they kind of gave up with the patio area, I think. But yeah, this is the only plant in this room. The other side is just like a whiteboard and a TV. This is that plant, and this is the rest of that conference room. Okay, I don't know if I put the camera tall enough to be able to see me, so I might like crouch a little bit. But these are 2 of the plants. They're both in different rooms. So I have this Philodendron Birkin, which It's a sleigh. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, this thing is killing it. I do literally the bare minimum. I just rotate it when I come in, and it's just grown so good. It is so beautiful. Like, this is what a Birkin, this is a Birkin, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It is beautiful, the variegation is beautiful. It is in a room that has west and south facing windows, so it does get a lot of natural light. And usually it's watered once a week. Sometimes I can wait a little bit longer. Then I have this Philodendron micans. Now, this one isn't doing bad, but it could do better. I'm very tempted. I want to repot this, and I'm still deciding on what I want to do. I'm very tempted to repot it down. I don't think it needs to be in this 8-inch. It's very like non-full on the top. There's a lot of little babies kind of forming, and the leaves just aren't really getting big, and it takes a while to dry out. So a part of me kind of wants to do a 6-inch, and I think it would help clean it up more. And also I think just a refresh in the soil might help it start to grow better, because it's growing, but the leaves aren't coming in big, and it's a south-facing window, so, or no, it's west-facing, so that's why I'm not too sure. It should be getting more than enough light. It is hanging a little bit higher, so maybe lowering it down in the future might help, but I have some ideas for this one. I want to fix it up. These are a couple of the other plants. In one of the offices, we also have a string of hearts. It's a little 4-inch, nothing too crazy, but a little cutie there. We also have another Ficus elastica. It's a Taniki variegation, so like that white and green one. That's in one of the offices. And then I also have a Tillandsia ionatha. I don't know exactly what type. You know what, I actually want to show that one because I'm really excited. Give me one sec. So yeah, this is the little ionatha. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I wanted to show it because you can see it's forming little pups on the bottom. You can kind of see them right at the base. And I'm just so excited about that. This is the one Tillandsia that I've had in this space that just hasn't given me too much fuss. I think they need to get missed a little bit more often, and I am the only one that touches the plants usually in here. I know if I asked, they would absolutely do it. Oh my God, there's another one. I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry, I'm holding it in such a wonky way, but there is another one forming down there, and then we have two back here. Ugh, I love this little guy. I can't even get mine to do that, but I also have a huge clump, but yeah, so that's another one of the little plants. So now that I've shown most of the plants in this space, I think I want to start going through and doing some repotting. I think it's time just to get it over with, and I'm gonna just do the rubber tree. I'm like beyond scared for this one. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I'm gonna split into 3. One's gonna stay out here. 2 of them are gonna go into the other offices, I think. They both have very bright windows. I think it'll be a really good opportunity to get some more greenery in here in the spaces. But like I said, I'm nervous. I feel like I'm gonna kill it, which is such a bad thing to put out into the, put out, but we'll just see how it goes. I don't know until I repot it. My other predicament here is I forgot my repot mat, and I thought about going outside, but I'm not recording myself outside. I'm gonna get such secondhand embarrassment that I won't be able to get through the video. So I'm gonna do it in here. I don't know what to do. It's gonna be a mess on the floor. It's whatever. I'm gonna clean it up anyways. That's the plan after this video, is just to deep clean and do some other things. So I'm just gonna suffer. It's on me anyways. So I might try to go get a trash bag and lay it out, but it's such a big plant that I know it's not gonna be enough. I'm gonna go get all my equipment. I am gonna get, like I said, the trash bag, the plant over here, and we're gonna get right into it. We are here. I got the rubber tree. I think it gives you a better idea of just how sad this is. These plants, the leaves shouldn't be pointing down. It could be a multitude of things usually when the leaves are pointing down, but I know it's not too much light. I know it's something with the pot. So that's why I really want to go through and repot it. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different plants in here. So we're gonna see how things are looking in those regards. I have my little trash bag here that's not gonna pull through at all. But we're gonna make it work. There are trash cans, so I'm thinking I'll go and just throw it in there, but we'll kind of go through and see. So it has dropped a lot of leaves in the past couple of weeks. So that is another thing that is making me nervous, and you might even see some of the leaves are kind of in that yellowish spot. Now, I believe this is a 10-inch pot. Oh, okay. I believe it's a 10-inch pot. Where are the roots? I'm so confused. I don't see anything. You know what, maybe this is a good thing. Not that there's not a lot of roots, but it might make it a lot easier for me to break it up. I'm feeling in it and like, it's a little moist, but it's not that moist, which is why I'm also so confused. I'm like, why are you the way you are? This side is coming off pretty easily. I see people just like go and they like rip things in half. Like they'll just split a plant in half, and like, I respect it so much, but I'm kind of too scared. I don't know if I can do that. Like there's still some grabbing going on. Oh, okay. Maybe I should point. Are the roots on like just one side? Is that what's going on? Oh man, now I'm wondering if I should split these. Like I'm scared that I'm gonna put these in these pots. I was looking for, okay, so I still get very mixed up with pots, but I know like as you get larger pots and things of that nature, instead of going like 10-inch, it'll go into like the gallons, and the gallon thing is what throws me off. I have, the pots that I have on the side here, these little guys, are technically 8-inch ones. I wanted to find 6-inch ones that were just a little bit deeper because I felt like that was like a better size for these, but I just could not find them. Even at like my work, we'll have stuff, so I was like, oh, you know, like I'll find, there's gotta be something back there I can like use or whatever. No, like I could not find them at all. We'll just see how this goes. I still don't know exactly how much root system we're working with here, so it is breaking up a lot easier than I was expecting. I was very much scared that I was gonna have like a block of roots and I was just gonna be playing like the pick game where I'm just picking at them and hoping I don't ruin the root system. I am not seeing a lot of like roots falling off, which is making me feel good, but also I don't feel like I'm seeing a lot of roots in general, which I think is kind of freaking me out a little bit. Because there's some, okay. I brought my whole setup. I reorganized this just to make it easier to like bring it and like have stuff. So I'm very happy I did that. My goal this morning was to be here at like 8 a.m., like get right into it, start getting stuff done. Like I had a whole like plan. No, I got in at 9 o'clock. I was gonna wake up at 7. I was gonna get everything laid up, make sure I had everything lined up properly. And for the most part I did, other than the repot mat, but you know, it's whatever. There's 2 here. So we have this very, very small fella, and then we have this taller one. I am thinking, there's 2 new growth points, which is also making me excited. I also want to turn these into trees. I want these to be more tree-like and less column-like, which was another reason why I kind of wanted to go through and repot them. The way, if you're curious too and you just didn't know, the way to make that happen with these types of plants is whenever you're happy with like the size that it's at, you're just gonna cut the top off, which sounds counterproductive, but it should start another like auxiliary bud underneath and it'll start to branch out that way. You might be able to see it, but this one's cut here and then it branched out that way. But it looks like we're getting a new spot there and then a new spot here. This is the leaf that I think I'm gonna take off in a little bit. It's gonna look a little funky, but the end goal's tree, so I wanna see the trunk more anyways, so I think it'll work out, but we're just gonna have to wait and find out there. Now, my predicament is I have this little small guy. I don't know if I should try to separate them. They're very close, very, very close. There's technically 3 in here. I think I might keep them all together. I think this is the most I'll take out and then just keep the rest in here. Now, here's my worry. I don't know if this is too big. No, we're good. I think we're good. I'm feeling a lot better about this. And I have another trick that I'm gonna do as well with my soil mix that I don't typically do. And I'll talk a little bit more about that once I get to repotting. I'm gonna keep separating these guys and kind of going from there. But here's the first one. So now we got these 2 here. These are also both extremely close and connected to one another. This is the one that I really want to separate. I want to separate these 2. The other ones I was like, that one's small, it'll fill in, it's fine. Maybe I'll take it out later. These 2 I'm separating, without a doubt. So to also go more in depth about why I take care of this law firm, the paralegal that works here is actually my partner's mom. And when they moved into this office about a year ago, her and the rest of the law firm all agreed that they really wanted plants in the space, but they all also agreed that they just didn't want to worry about having to take care of them. especially too because they're at work. They have other things to be focusing on, and the likelihood of something dying because of neglect was going to be very high. And at the time, I had no job. I had just got let go of the job that I was working at the time. I was a social media manager for a mortgage company, which as soon as I got that position, I knew I was going to get let go because, like, if you've ever done social media management for any company, does not matter, you know what I'm about to say. People hire people to do social media and then they don't like them doing social media. They have an idea what they want, but they don't understand that their idea isn't right. And there is trends and concepts and things that you need to do if you're gonna be on social media and have a social media presence. And a lot of businesses and just individuals in general don't understand and trust social media managers. So I wasn't able to do pretty much anything. So anything I did do, it kind of got shut down. It was, I don't know. Like just a whole plethora of stuff. And don't get me wrong, I didn't go to school for it. I don't have a degree. It was definitely something where they asked, is it something I can do? I said, I don't have a degree in it. I have a understanding of social media. I kind of get it, but like no promises, but I can show you what's happening and I can kind of break stuff down from my visual point of view and, you know, Anyways, long story short, I got let go. As soon as that happened, I started actually focusing more on freelance work. I've been doing freelance since I was like 16. It was always just kind of something I did for fun, but for 3 months, that was my livelihood. And that experience was fun. It just isn't stable. So it was this whole debacle. But during the time frame of just doing freelance work, I needed more money. And she obviously knows how much I love plants and was like, hey, do you want to do all the plant care here and also like just keep the place clean? And I was like, 2 things I love to do, clean and take care of plants. So that's kind of how it all started and why I do this. Like I mentioned before, I don't like doing plant care for other people. It's not my thing. I don't want to take care of other businesses. I don't want to go to different spots and be like, let me take care. Like, it's just not my cup of tea. It just doesn't bring me like that much joy. I just feel comfortable because they understand, they know who I am personally. They also understand like I like to try new things. They're also very open to me at trying new things. And they also know I have a lot going on in my life in regards of just being busy and having a lot to do. So if there is a little bit of a mishap or if I do miss some stuff, like there's never been any issues. They all have been super understanding of just me. And so that's another reason why I feel a lot more comfortable. If I could just focus on like, I don't know, doing content. If I didn't have all my eggs in so many baskets, I think it'd be a little bit different, but I do a lot of things on the side. I like to keep busy. I like my little hobbies / like little gigs and things of that nature. So that's kind of why I'm here. They might be moving locations in the future, which is also another reason why I haven't really done too much here because I'm worried that I'm going to start and then they're going to be like, we're moving. And then I'm going to have to kind of redo different things and setups and stuff like that. One thing I really want to focus on in the future is pots and just decor in general in the space. I really want to decorate these plants and really complement them with pots and different things like that. The same way I do at my own space, you know, with, of course, their interest in mind. Like I want them to enjoy it. I want it to fit their space and things like that. I want to actually sit down and talk to them and like find stuff and like find things that they like and like make it work, you know? I've gotten a lot of the soil out and these guys are just like to the hip and I'm just so scared. Oh, I see people just split things and I want to do it, but I'm scared. Please don't rip. Tell me I'm not destroying this plant. Like, are you connected? Are you 2 individual? Like, that's the thing I can't tell. I don't know if these are like connected and that's why I feel like I'm ripping through. Like, there's a good root system on both of them. So if I am, you know, it is what it is. I think I am. I think I see, or is that just roots? Oh, y'all, I don't feel good. I feel like I'm making a really bad mistake. I feel like people are just watching, like, covering their eyes, waiting to hear the snap and being like, yeah, you're done. Oh, I absolutely am ripping it from one another. Okay, well, that happened. It's so cute though. Now, looking at where the rip was, it was definitely like trunk. Like this wasn't a root system, this was trunk for sure. Now, it doesn't look too bad. It's not spewing out any sap or anything like that, so I feel good there. I think I'm gonna just, where'd my little scissors go? My little pruners. I think I'm gonna just cut this little part here. It's like a little tail off. And then there's that. This is the other one. And then I just wanna see pot-wise. This one probably has the least amount of roots, but I think we're gonna be okay. So we got that one also separated, and then we have this one, which is probably the one that's been doing the best and has the most of a root system. Definitely I'm not worried about potting this one up in this pot. It looks like the roots are just gonna kind of fill in the majority of it, which is what I want. The other thing that I feel like with these types of plants, the Ficus elasticas, they like to be a little bit more snug, I feel like. I might be wrong, but in my head, I feel like snug is kind of the way to go with them. Now that I've done that, I am going to go get one of the trash cans and I'm just gonna lift and dump all this in, and then we're gonna start mixing up the soil and getting these potted up. I am gonna try to take out the bamboo stakes. I kind of want these to just exist without support. I think it will help strengthen the stem. At least I think that's what I've read, or at least what I understand. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I'm gonna see how it does. If it holds up, beautiful. If it starts to struggle, I got bamboo sticks and I'll just stick them back in. So let me go get that set up. Going into these pots, like I said, it's an 8-inch diameter, but it's just a deeper pot. They go into the gallons. I still get so mixed up. I know like once you get to a certain point, I think 1 gallon is technically like a 6-inch, and then it's like a 2 or 3 gallons an 8-inch, and then it just keeps going. All I know is deep 8-inch is what I'm putting all of these plants in specifically here. Now, my mix is gonna be the typical same. I'm still using like my tank stuff, but I'm actually gonna be mixing a little bit of the cactus and succulent mix on top of the houseplant tropical. The reason why I'm doing this is, especially like with this north-facing window, it doesn't get a lot of light, like direct light. And these are one of those plants where I feel like direct light really does help them in general to not accidentally stay too moist. And so a way for me to kind of combat that is I'm gonna do a certain amount of cactus soil with this on top of like my charcoal and Osmocote. I'm hoping that will help it dry out a little bit more if it is staying a little bit moist. My goal is to get these guys to be in an almost once a week routine in the summertime. In the winter, it's not as scary, but in the summer, I only come here once a week, so I try to nail everything on that day. Most of the time it's okay, but there are times where I'm like, and I still, you know, I get nervous and I end up coming back to just water maybe one or two plants. So I'm trying to get them in that same realm where I can get them all watered, you know, in that time frame, you know, once a week. So that's kind of where my head's at. I know you can't always make it happen, and that is absolutely okay and understandable, but that's where I'm going with. So to get started here, I don't have anything to mix it in, which isn't like a shocker. If you watch my videos, I usually use other pots to mix stuff in, but I don't really know. I might use just this big guy. I'm a little nervous I might not have enough soil. My work is close, so it's not like the end of the world, but I would personally like to not have to go back and forth. Then I am just gonna mix away. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, I'm hoping that cactus and succulent mix is what helps me out the most and just allows it to dry out maybe a little bit more. Because also, like I said, with these root systems, most of them are okay. There's one that I'm a little bit nervous about. There's one that just doesn't seem to have too much going on in the root system. So that one I might do a little bit more of that like cactus succulent mix that I was kind of talking about. Start packing it in that way. I think I'm gonna have enough soil. I hope I have enough soil. In my last video, I talked about really hoping that I could go see 100 gecs live. I was not able to go, and that was 100% okay. I have seen them before in Vegas, and the reason why I ended up not going was just because of being tired. It was a long week for me. I worked way more than I normally did. I picked up a lot of shifts and we had some events at work, so it wasn't like our normal hours. I stayed after a lot longer. It was Mother's Day weekend and it was very hectic at work just because of that. So I stayed an extra like 3 hours or 2 hours on my shift. On Saturday, I had a photo shoot this same weekend. My coworker and just really good friend also was moving out at the time too, and his new place kind of screwed him over in a sense, and it turned into this moment of panic, and me and some other coworkers offered to take care of some of his plants. So we split his collection and all took some of it into our own homes and got them all set up. I think I have maybe 40 of his plants right now, which is a lot. And I went over late Monday night to pick up all of them and to take them all out, and I did that alone. He helped move them into the car, but when I got home, it took me about 30 minutes to get all of them in. It was a long weekend. So I just didn't go, and the people I was supposed to go with, they were also not able to go anyway. So it kind of just turned into one of those moments of like, hey, I don't think it's happening, but that is 100% okay. It happens. You know, artists always travel and make music, so I'll catch them again. And even if I don't catch them too soon, I'll live. I love patting down really hard, especially when I'm using like little plastic pots like these and I'm able to, because you're like, wow, this is like really filled. I have a lot of soil left. And then you do it and it goes whonk and you're like, oh, I don't have a lot of soil left. So without knocking this one over, I'm trying to get a little bit more there. It's like the one downfall about using pots to hold your soil. There's holes on the bottom, so a lot of that soil just flies out. I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher up. That one is gonna be done. Maybe this repot wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I'm still slightly anxious about it, especially that little like ribbage that I had to do, but it's okay. That's what I did to the Stramanthe a couple videos ago, and it's doing really good. It hasn't dried out enough. It's been almost like a week, so I'm a little worried there. It's only in a 4-inch. And I lost one leaf out of it, but all the other leaves look super happy, very open. I moved it to a little bit of a brighter spot, so we're gonna see if that helps. But I think with this one, what do I wanna do? I wanna save this cactus soil, so I think I'm only gonna just do a little bit more of this on the top. I only need like a little inch layer, so I should be able to pour it in like this. Here is the first one. Like I said, it's gonna be a little wiggly, but I think it'll be okay. I wanna see if I can get it without the bamboo. That's kind of like my goal. So cute. I think it'll look so good once it gets taller and I can trim off the top and start to get it to branch out the way that my head is and the vision that I have for it. But on to the next one. This was the one that I was a little bit more worried about. It honestly has a lot thicker roots than some of that other bigger one. So I think it'll be okay. Oh. This one is moving a little bit more, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Do I want to go up to the fill line? I think I might. I have a little bit more soil, we'll do that. All right, I think this one is gonna be good. Oh, so 2 out of the 3 done there. Oh, I love them separated. Don't get me wrong, it looks good when they're all like together like that, but man, it makes all the difference. It really does when you can like see the individual plant, and if I can get them to be more stable and grow and hold their form and like get them to look like little trees, I'm set, I'm proud, I'm happy. Like I did my job. On to the last one here. This one, it has a lot of new growth points coming in. It's a very interesting looking one in general. I'm just gonna do it. Hate to see it go, but it just doesn't look good. So we have that there. I need to make, I think, a little bit more of a soil mix. Throw that in here. Gently place this one here. Get that little green tape out. So I think it being here is like a good spot. So just gonna go. Can you hold? Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, once these prop back up a little bit more, it should look a little bit cleaner, and we'll be able to kind of see these ones separately as well too. This one's kind of cute though. I like it with the little, I think when they're all different sizes, it looks fine, but when they're all like kind of big and just, I think that's where I'm like, I think we're good. This one is the most unstable, but I also think it's because there's a lot going on, and it is no, it's not the tallest, but it's close. But yeah, that's the last one, I think. Let me lift it up and see. Yeah, like I said, time will progress. They'll start to hold their own a lot better, and then they hopefully will acclimate and like the pot. I'm scared. The reason why I think I have trauma is because the last time I repotted a Taniki, it just didn't do good. I thought it was in it looked like it was in one of these pots, and I moved it to a 10-inch, and it really struggled for a long time, but then it finally kind of got used to it, and I also got used to watering it a little bit more cautiously. There's times where even in the summer it would be almost 2 weeks in between waterings, which in Arizona, where it's 115 degrees sometimes for multitudes of days, and it being by a window, I was like, there's no way, this needs something. So I think that's also why I was a little nervous about it. But I'm happy I did this. I think it's gonna look good. I just realized I don't got little water trays though for all of these ones, so I'm gonna have to figure that out and get some of those soon. But at least we got the repot of those ones all set and done, so that's making me feel very, very good. Now, there are 2 more plants that I want to repot, and we're gonna get them done today. This is gonna be a long video, so I am gonna repot a pothos, and I'm gonna pot that Philodendron Moonlight right up here, actually in that pot. It's just in the nursery pot right now. So the 2 repots that I wanna do should be relatively quick. I don't think they'll be too long. Here are the 2 in question. As you can see, one of them is just sitting in water, and then, like I said, the other one, I'm just potting it into the actual little black pot here. The one that's in water used to be in a pot, but they accidentally knocked the pot over and broke it, so they threw it in. And when they told me that, I was a little nervous, but I don't see any rot, and it seems like it's doing its thing, so we're gonna go through and get that all repotted, but let's start off with this fella, just because I know this one's gonna be super easy and quick. All right, and it's still pretty moist too from the last time I came in watered. A little yellow leaf, I'm just gonna pop that out, and then let's see what we're working with here. If I can get it out. Yeah, it has a nice little root system going on. Sweet. Okay, nice little bottom layer there. Then what are we working with? Like, what's a good height? I would say like right about there. So I am just gonna massage the soil. Oh yes, it is just coming apart. Oh yeah, we got some long roots. They're just all wrapped up. Sorry, since it's so low, I'm like trying to make sure I'm getting it at a level that I'm happy with. I feel bad because I'm like always like, oh, I'm gonna talk about stuff. And then I always get so like focused, or I get too focused on the plant, or I get too focused on talking. So I'm gonna try to do both at the same time. Like I said, I didn't get to see 100 gecs like I wanted to, which was fine. But another artist that, one of my absolute favorite artists, and I'm like, but I'm like, no, I really enjoy her music so much, and I just find it so fun and interesting. Melanie Martinez is gonna be touring pretty soon, and she is coming to Arizona. I did not get tickets when they came out. I tried, they got just like scalped like crazy. I mean, I think everyone knows, but when it comes to getting tickets nowadays for like any show, doesn't matter how your artist is or how big or whatever, it's a pain and it sucks. I'm holding down and hoping as it gets closer, if people don't start buying those tickets, a lot of the times people will resell them, like especially those scalpers, they'll just resell them at whatever price they can just to get money back, because a lot of the times they don't even live in the same states. They're literally just doing it to get to flip it and get income. So I'm holding my breath and hoping I can get tickets that way. The other predicament, and like this wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't just me being picky, is I go to a lot of festivals. I'm a big festival individual. I love live music. I love being able to go see multitude of artists all in one area. Like, that's so fun. And I also love when I get to find new artists that I typically won't listen to at festivals, because you know there's so much, and it's one of those things where I'm like, oh well, I have time, or no one's going on until this time that I want to see, like let me go find someone, right? So I'm used to being on the floor. I like to walk around, I like to dance, I like to exist in the moment. I cannot exist in a chair. I physically cannot. And there's tickets available, but they weren't floor. And I was just like, I'm not doing this. I need to see her on floor. I love the album so much that I know I'm gonna be dancing and having a good time, and I'm not gonna be dancing while there's a little chair behind me and there's like people next to me, like also in little chairs. No, that's just not me. And I don't know if that's just me being like extra, but I also think it's just because I just go to shows where seating isn't an option, you know? And, or if you do sit, you're like sitting on the grass with your little blanket, and it's just good vibes, and you're listening to whoever you saw. Like, one of my absolute favorite music festivals is Life is Beautiful out in Vegas. I almost go every year. I am not going this year, unfortunately. My group kind of all were just like, no, not this year. But we've gone consistent though. It's a really fun mixture of music. Yeah, that's easy repot, fresh and done. The soil was super wet, and even this mix is super wet, so I'm not too worried. I might come back in next week on like Thursday or something after my shift, just to like take a peek on how things are, or ask someone to give me an update if they notice anything's looking a little funky. But it's fine. But yeah, like I said, I live for live music. I love music festivals, and I love her album, and I love her so much that I would be really bummed out to be sitting. And the thing is floor tickets at the event, when I was trying to purchase them like for normal value, $70, like, which is not bad. Like, that is not bad to me at all, you know, especially for an artist that I truly enjoy. Absolutely, I'll spend $70, that's fair. Sold out. Retail value, or the sale value now for floor tickets, is around $400. That's how much it costs to go to most festivals. I'm not paying $400. So hold your breath for me, send good vibes. We're gonna hope that as it gets closer, I'll be able to get tickets at a reasonable price. I'm willing to pay a little bit more than $70, whatever, it's cool, but I'm not paying $400. Like, come on, like, be for real. And on top of it too, like, if I'm gonna go, I'll probably go with my partner. He's not that big of a fan. Like, he's like, there's some good songs, but it's not his groove. And I would feel bad to make him, you know, I'm not gonna have someone who doesn't enjoy the music that much, or like really get into it that much, pay that much money for a ticket, you know? Like, that's just not cool. That's not a good vibe, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at there. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping I can go through and see that. And other than that, I don't think I'm gonna go and see any new artists or anything soon. Oh, there is an event going on actually tonight. I don't know what's going on. My coworkers and like friends are like, hey, show up, it's gonna be fun. So I think I'm gonna go tonight. I'm excited. It's like it's like an art show, but then there's gonna be like live music, like a really good DJ. It's all local, which is always like a fun thing. So I don't know, I'll see how it goes. I know I do mostly like plant related things and like repots and just talking about plants and all that fun jazz. But there's a part of me that kind of wants to capture like fun moments when I'm out and about, just to like share. Because, you know, I'm definitely more than plants. I keep talking about how many little side things that I do and all the fun things that I do, and I don't like to go too much in depth with stuff because I like to try to keep things separate, but I don't know. Not that I'm trying to blend all my things into one group and like force all of you to like listen to me or watch me do X, Y, and Z, but yeah. Oh, I'll give you an update too. I totally forgot. In my last video, I was talking about moving and an apartment that we saw and that we really loved. We applied for the apartment, so fingers crossed. I don't know what that is all going to look like in general for us. We still haven't really heard back. And I think it's like what, 7 or so days they have until they like reach back to you. We were worried on a couple of things just in regards of like, oh, can like we make this work? Can we make this work? But I think we're good. I think we have it. Like, as long as like everything comes through properly and they say yes, like, think that's gonna be home, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait to, like I said, I can't wait to show y'all what I'm talking about and just also like decorate it and like have y'all come along and just see what goes on. So also send good vibes for that too. There's a lot happening very, very soon in my life, which I'm always excited for change, but also like it makes it hard to keep up with everything else too, you know? So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm just taking it day by day. I'm trying to be more of a yes individual and not so much of a no, I'm gonna be tired or it's gonna be this. I wanna start doing things. I wanna start just existing and appreciating life for what it is and just having a good time. And then for this little pothos here, they're very long. I can just leave them and let them do their thing. Oh no, did I just break that vine? I could just leave them how they are, but there's a lot of nodes. So what I think I'm gonna do is I am going to press these down into the soil and try to dig them underneath. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of this soil. I know it's not the same, but I just need something to like hold this in for me. I also have these little guys, bobby pins. I'm gonna just bobby pin the nodes down. This is literally the only reason why I have bobby pins at all, but I'm gonna bobby pin the nodes down so they don't keep moving back and forth, and I can also like make sure they stay in the soil properly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've learned the hard way with using bobby pins, but typically, it's like once you get them to like lay flat, it's not too bad. The other thing with the bobby pins is it definitely helps, but very, very cautious. You want it to be snug, but you don't want it to cut circulation off. I've definitely had times where I thought I had it good, and then I went back and I realized the very tip of the bobby pin I didn't pull out enough, and I could see the vine starting to get like indented from it. So obviously like little rookie mistake, but it is something I try to pay attention to a little bit more because it's easier than I realize. This is also my way of trying to make it look a little bit more filled in. I'm gonna do like 2 more bobby pins, I think. And then I'm just gonna put a bunch of soil on the top and we're gonna call it good there. My one thing about pothos that I love is just they're so hardy and they just don't care. They just work with what you give them and what you do to them. Okay, no, one more. There's a really good node here that I feel like I want to really try to make sure it gets in the soil. And then I'm just gonna fill the rest up with said soil. I'm just gonna use this top stuff. I don't wanna use the rest of the other soil, and I know this stuff is fine. I would've kept it with the little Philodendron Moonlight, but it just came out so easily that I was like, okay, I'll use fresh soil, but I just don't wanna keep pouring out more. I'm done. Cute, a little wonky, but hey, it's gonna adjust and do its thing, and then it'll be fine. It'll look good. So that is going to be our last little repot there. I don't think I'm repotting anything else today. I'm still gonna think about I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do about that big old, oh my God, I can't think of what it's called. Pothos, the pothos up there. I'm gonna figure out an idea. Like I said, I'm so down to hear what you guys have. If you had an idea, I'm thinking about maybe vining some of it on the wall. I think I'm gonna cut off all the legs and maybe do like a prop box and just really grow them out, maybe fill it in more. I could fill this one in more because they're the same exact pothos. And yeah, I'm gonna go figure out some spots. What I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna find homes for all of these guys, put them in their spots, and then I think I'm gonna take photos. So you guys can see, but it'll be easier for me to make sure I don't accidentally show something, but I can still showcase what I was talking about there. I think I'm gonna water them, and I think I'm gonna just use a little bit of Super Thrive just to help with like giving them some extra vitamins. I don't wanna fertilize them and give them any nutrients. I don't think they want that. I want them just to just get acclimated, get used to their new home. So let me go find some homes for these, get everyone back up, and I will get right back to y'all. All right, so here is one of the ones. I put it right back to the window. I chose this one here specifically just because it has the second one growing, and this is the one that has the 2 growth points on top of this new one up here too. So I feel like this one has a better chance of kind of filling out, and there's not really like a dominant plant in this space at the moment. So I think that's why I kind of chose this one. I did take photos of the other one, so I'll show those as well too, so you can kind of get like a better idea as well. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm obviously stressed. I hope they're okay. I hope it works out. This one I also chose to put here specifically just because of the root system. It was a little bit more grown out. It filled the pot a lot more, so I feel like it's gonna be able to dry out a little bit more decent compared to the other ones. The other ones are technically like south and west facing windows, but I'm still a little bit more worried, and I rather those ones have a lot more light versus this one getting more longer but bright and direct light, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna see how it goes. I'll have them kind of take photos and update me as the week goes on. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think if I can get these to do their thing and hopefully pick up and, you know, start thriving, I'll be very, very content. With that being the case overall, I think I'm gonna end it here. I have a lot of stuff to clean. I still need to water a lot of the other guys that are chilling out in here and just get going. I'm gonna easily spend another hour, hour and a half in here, and I've been here already for like 3 hours. So I am ready to get going, get that all set up and start heading out. Let me know what you think too. It was really fun to bring y'all into the office. I know I didn't showcase everything in detail, and I would love to do that at some point, but like I said, I really don't want to accidentally show anything that I shouldn't show, or, you know, anything on those terms. So as the future unfolds, and also as I find out if we are moving to another location or staying here, I actually would really like to turn this into like maybe a little series where I get to talk to each individual person in their office, see if I can clean it up in a way where I can show the office and start working on fun little projects here too. There's a lot of things that we have. There's a string of hearts that I have this really cool idea with. There is a taniki in the other office that I talked about but I didn't show. I also want to do a little bit of a repot, find a cool pot for it, and also get it off the stake. There's just so much I can do here. The big green Congo in there, I want to find a stand for it. It deserves to be a little bit higher up, or even too, see about moving stuff around. That's a bright room. I can easily put one of these rubber trees in here and maybe bring out the green Congo, and I know the green Congo would do fine. So many different things. So it'd be really fun to see about maybe doing a little series on this space and kind of doing some more stuff in here as time progresses on. Either way, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe if you liked it. Share it with another plant friend if you think they enjoy something like this. And yeah, I appreciate every single one of y'all, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.